All right, go ahead. Start from the top.
All right, so it happened about a year ago, but basically where I was living at, there was noise campaigns going around. That caused me to get into a little bit of anxiety and a little bit of paranoia.
Noise campaign is what? What do you call a noise?
A lot of vehicles were driving by where I was living at.
Loud mufflers or
and it was like
music?
muffling sounds, brooming sounds. Basically, you know, when you go to a haunted house and you hear those like chainsaws, it's kind of like that.
Okay.
And it was just like, it was too coordinated, you know, it was too coordinated.
So you peeped the synchronized.
Exactly.
Okay.
It was all synchronized.
Okay.
And I didn't know what was going on at the time. I was so confused, so I called 911. And the ambulance showed up, the police showed up.
And you didn't know then that that's their office number for stalking, but go ahead.
Exactly. I had no idea what was going on. I just explained to them what was going on. I told them, hey, something coordinated is happening in the background. I have no idea what's going on.
What'd they say?
They were just like, you just need to go to the hospital. That's basically, they were just framing me, they were framing me as I was a crazy person.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to the hospital. I tell the doctors the exact same situation, the exact same story. They think I'm crazy, obviously. They put me on medication. And the crazy thing was, there's a group of people outside.
What was the medication for? Anxiety or schizophrenia? What was the diagnosis rather?
Of course, suspicious for.
Suspicious.
Yeah, suspicious for schizo. Of course,
Was that a
paranoid.
psychiatrist or a nurse? A psychiatrist said that.
Yes.
He was suspicious
Suspicious.
that you might be.
Yes.
I've never heard of that diagnosis. Go ahead.
Heard of it before either.
Yeah. That'd be like suspicion
Right.
that a 400-pound woman is fat
Right.
or not.
Right.
But go ahead.
So then after the diagnosis and the medication, I heard a group of people outside of the hospital chanting something.
Oh! What was they chanting?
So my name is Peter.
Yeah.
And they were chanting, "We want Peter killed."
Oh, okay.
And they were chanting that over and over again.
Yeah.
And what I ended up doing is I ended up going to the bathroom again. I dialed 911 again,
All right.
so the police would come. This is the part where it gets crazy.
You didn't know the police and 911, they were all involved. And They were waiting for the call, right? They were trying to drive you to something.
I had no idea what was going on. Sorry.
All right, keep on.
So then, now that I'm in the bathroom, I called 911. The medical staff, they come, they're like, Peter, you need to come out of the bathroom right now. We can't have you in the bathroom calling 911. Okay.
At your house?
No, we're at the hospital now.
Oh, you called 911 from the hospital?
From the hospital, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yes, yes. Because of the chanting that was going on outside.
Really? And,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't have to wait as long, so there
Exactly.
you go.
So then they put me back into one of the rooms, and this is the crazy part. I look down the hallway. There's a man with a weapon that came into the hospital. Yes.
You didn't know it's theater at this time.
Right, I didn't know it was
Right.
there at this time. But because I called 911, the police were there. They were surrounding me.
So they got to make this official.
Right, so it was official, and they had their weapons out.
Did they Baker at you? I don't know if
They didn't talk to me.
A civil convict, they can put you in for 3 days for observation. Yeah.
Right. What basically was so they were surrounding this man, the
Yeah.
police officers, and they transferred me to another.
Whatever happened to the man?
They never followed up with me. They didn't talk about it. They didn't mention it.
Yeah.
Nothing. They didn't.
Yeah. Chances are there's no record of that.
No record.
Because you're suspiciously schizophrenic.
Exactly.
Ooh, I thought somebody tapping me on the shoulder.
Right.
Keep on.
And ever since then, they just put me on meds. And but a couple months later, I realized that this is my reality. This isn't something I made up. So I just stopped taking the medicine.
Right. And it went on with or without the medicine. Because it doesn't matter.
Right.
What kind of medication you take.
It was an
You
antipsychotic.
can't stop
Yeah.
by proxy a criminal from stalking you because you're medicated.
Right.
That didn't make any sense.
Right.
I mean, they're the ones that need to be hit with a tranquilizer dart and released into a prison somewhere.
Right. And I felt like when I was taking the medication, I felt like a zombie, you know?
Yeah.
I felt like my brain was just like numbed out. I couldn't really like talk. So I decided to stop taking the medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you. And so how long has it been since you've had it?
So ever since then, it's been about like 8-9 months.
Okay.
So, and I would say over the year, as I've learned more and more about the gang stalking, it has actually decreased in intensity. So it hasn't been as bad as it was back then. So over time, it's gotten a lot better.
Is it increased intensity, or has your skin gotten thicker, or a little of both?
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as you learn more about their tactics, you kind of like, you can kind of evade it, kind of. You can kind of anticipate what they're going to do, and you can kind of mentally prepare for it.
Right. So do you work?
I used to work in the pharmacy, but the gang stalking followed me into work. So it was like they were harassing me at work.
Right.
So I had to leave.
So you had to leave. So you're not working?
So I'm not working right now, and I'm trying to just gather myself and try to just figure out what I want to do next. Because, like, are they going to follow me to the next place I work? I'm not sure. Like, how am I going to handle it?
Well, this is
I said these behind you.
fine. They want to be able to dictate your future, for you to plan your life around someone else's diabolical scheme.
Yeah.
So to expect that not to happen would be bad advice. For me to tell you that, well, they probably won't. I don't know of a case, personally, where they don't interject themselves. Now, with that said, are there situations where you can get a job and the people you work around be active participants in stalking and make you miserable at work, gaslight you, and continue the charade? Yes. But you can't get a job under all those things. But you've got to be consciously aware.
Right. You got to be kind of like.
Well, you got to
5-10
know.
steps ahead of
You
it.
got to know that these people are being brought to justice, and whether a person's a believer or not, karma's real. Jesus taught karma. He said, "As you sow, so shall you reap." That's karma. It's going to come back on them. But what they will and what they won't do, I don't know. There's no such thing as playing nice with evil, because what they're doing is evil, it's wrong, and it's a complete violation. So how about relationships? Have they
Being completely flipped upside down, like.
now they'll put they'll put that in your life too.
Yeah.
I know, for instance, where they've married and everything, fallen in love and all that.
It honestly feels like the Twilight Zone right now. I feel like it's,
really?
yeah, it feels like it doesn't feel real, you know. It just feels like I'm isolated, and all my friends have turned on me. They think I'm weird.
But guess what?
Yeah.
They were never your friends.
Right.
You know, a friend is a person. That doesn't mean they agree with everything you say or do, but when the chips are down and the dust is settled and the smoke's cleared,
Yeah.
very few people are going to be standing there.
Right.
People throw that word love around and friend around too much.
Yeah.
I've got all these friends. Well, where are they when you need them?
Exactly.
So that Jesus is our friend. So I have to tell you
It's
that.
the only friend, you know.
That, and the only thing God demands from us is everything we've got. Everything. Every problem, every concern.
Yes.
Give Him everything. Every dream. Every hope. Every goal. Everything you've got.
Yeah.
And in return, God's going to give you everything He has. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
The devil's going to come at you, but he's a liar. He wants you to live in fear. Worry about, am I going to be able to keep this job? Everybody's calling me crazy. Yeah, and none of that matters. God says, It's how I define you is what matters.
Right.
And I'm the only one, God's the only one that counts. They do not count.
Yeah.
They don't define you.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage you with that. And coming up here, and there's a lot of other people that could have been here that are that, and I don't know what their reason is, but it's neither here nor there.
I didn't know how else to defend myself besides coming to something like this, you know. So.
Well, you defend, you know, you have to expose it.
Yeah, you gotta expose it.
Expose it. Don't fall for all the hocus pocus they want you to talk about. They'd love for you to get on the Area 51 deal and keep you in the psych ward.
Right.
And that was the whole deal with the theater, the man with a gun and all this stuff at the hospital. And
Yeah.
but that, what you went through, caused irreparable damage. You'll never forget it. In other words, it's beyond repair.
Yeah.
Monetarily, that can't be addressed. No amount of money can fix what happened to you. Now that you know, it was all a game.
It's all a game.
But you didn't sign up for this game, and you're not laughing. That is a complete violation of your constitutional rights,
Right.
of being deprived of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Right.
So I'm telling you, those individuals that were involved in that little charade,
Right.
those are people that need to be named in a federal lawsuit for violating your constitutional rights.
Right.
And we'll talk more, and you can contact me and talk and
Yeah.
tell you how to. And now, will that bring the heat up? Who cares? It's irreparable damage.
Right.
You did what you did, and it's illegal, and it's a crime. If I go out here and rob a bank, I can't get all pissy because I get locked up for robbing the bank. And they don't need to get all pissy
Right.
for going out here and psychologically trying to destroy
That's
an
the hardest
individual.
part because you build up so much anger.
Right.
There's so many pieces of furniture I've broken up until this point because
You broke or they broke?
I broke.
Did you?
Because I had to let it out
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah,
you
don't
know?
take it out on
That's the
furniture.
hardest part, you know. It's
Yeah.
just like because they gaslight you, they cause you to react, and they gaslight you, and it's like
Yeah.
a cycle, you know. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to control,
Right.
and you have to stay in control, or else they're just going to throw you back into the hospital. So
Oh yeah. So you know not to call 911 anymore,
exactly,
right?
I know not to.
Yeah,
go
that
yeah.
unless you got one of their stalkers are being lazy or sloppy, you know, you say y'all need to step your game up, whatever. But by all means, the last thing you want to do is call an ambulance, law enforcement to your house. We know what they did to you last time.
Exactly. Unfortunately, they're in on it. You know,
And so you have this blue code of silence. Not all law enforcement, but those that come forward
yeah,
and report their own for intentionally and willfully and recklessly violating civil and constitutional rights, they themselves will be ostracized and be put through the blender for life. And so,
do you think we'll reach to that point though? Do you think we'll get there? I hope so.
get where? Because that's a big
To the
statement.
point where like this is mainstream and like we're protected by the law.
I don't see, according to the Bible,
Yeah. Probably not.
according to the Bible,
Yeah.
it doesn't round up to this phase of humanity
Yeah.
gets better. It does get worse, okay?
Right.
But as a born again Christian, it's all
It's all part of the plan.
gumdrops and rainbows, I can promise you, because we're going to be dead a whole lot longer than we'll ever be alive.
Yeah.
So what's important now? Evil is present on this earth. There's nothing new under the sun. This is Satan's domain. That's what the scriptures tell us. God created this, but this is Satan's domain. And he wants to, he came to kill, steal, and destroy.
Yeah.
Jesus came that we might have life and have it more abundantly. It's not as if the Bible didn't tell us that there would be false prophets, fake churches, fake Christians, corrupt government. Those things, we've been told about that.
Right.
So if we believe that God, we've got to believe His Word.
Yeah. We have to expect.
But what
something
He
like this.
says is He'll take you through it. He didn't put us in it, but He'll bring us out. Okay? So yes, I know how it ends. We know how it ends. I've read the back of the book.
Yeah.
And so whether it gets better or not. But so what do we accomplish by filing federal lawsuits? And we accomplish exposing these crimes where others can know. Others know what's going on, and those that are true Christians, because God can only do His work on this earth through His people. He's not going to do it. He can only do it through His people, and He only functions off of prayer. God says, "You have not because you ask not." And He's a big God. He works in the realm of impossibilities. So things are not getting any better. But people don't know where to turn. They don't know what to do. I don't have the answers. But I personally know the person that does have the answers. And so that's what we have to look to. And let other people, that's the good news. We don't know. But we need to expose the corruption, the evil.
That's all we can
There's
do.
no such thing. There's no participant in any element of this program that are non-culpable in crimes against humanity, whatever, how small that role is. For those crash dummies that were out there, Peter, what did they say? What were they chanting?
We want Peter killed.
They want you killed.
Yeah.
And you know, those are the same people. When Jesus was standing before Pontius Pilate, and he gave them a choice between a murderer or lying thief, Barabbas, or Jesus Christ that had never done any wrong. And they said, "Give us Barabbas. Give us Barabbas." God's people, we want Peter killed. Give us Barabbas. It's the same people, the same spirit of evil that was there then, that is there now. But the good news is, Jesus took it all to that cross, and He defeated that. There's our victory. For those that don't have hope, this is the hope that we have, because they're not going to destroy us. You can keep your mind on God, or you can keep your mind on the devil.
Yeah.
God will fight these battles, but He don't want us running from them, because there's people out there that need to hear what you got to say, what I've got to say.
Exactly.
And so I think that's the avenue.
Yeah.
He'll give you the answers,
Yeah.
but don't let fear stop you from moving forward. He'll put you wherever you need to be.
Yeah, you can't let Peter.
Yeah, He'll put you there. And so with that, your name, we know your name's Peter. And I'm Richard Moore, United States Anti-Gang Stalking Association, Washington, D.C. Till next time, God bless you.